everybody. Day 1 of the global release of King Arthur's Legends Rise is officially done, so we're on to day 2, and I figured it'd be a great time to give you some opening beginner tips that you could use to fuel your growth in the game and really push your characters as fast as possible. So the number one resource to building up your characters into this game, oddly enough, is going to be your stamina. Yeah, because stamina just fuels everything in this game, whether it be your farming, your experience potions, your gold, your relic materials, whatever the case may be, it's going to be using stamina except for the adventure mode. So it's important to know how to, manipulate your stamina as much as possible. As you see right now, I have 679 out of 218. Don't do this. Especially in the early game, don't do this. I burnt myself so many times doing this. I'm only doing it right now because I'm nowhere near getting another account level. So you see right now I'm level 59 and I have this whole gauge to go. Once this gauge fills and you get an account level up, it will refill your stamina. Right now my stamina is 218. Let's just say it stayed there. It doesn't. It grows up, right? Let's say it stays there. When I hit level 60, it will replenish that 218. However, it will not break the cap. So say I level right now. I'm at 650 energy out of 218. I will get 0 stamina added. And that's a lot of stamina to lose out on. If I'm at 50 out of 200, it'll give me the difference, right? So I'll get that extra 170 or whatever the case may be. If I'm at 0, then I'm getting the most benefit. I'm getting all that energy back. And I'm not kind of wasting anything. So it's hard to kind of min-max that, especially in the early game when you're hitting a lot of account levels very quickly. But just avoiding what I did here, where I loaded up on stamina because I'm going to go hit a boss a bunch of times to level up a certain character, certain progression path. This is a big mistake, right? And if you see, say I was at like 80 energy out of 200 and I know, hey, the next thing I do is going to level me up. What I want to do is I want to hit a boss that I am the most furthest progressed on. Like say Plains of Beasts 9 right now. Because I beat this, I can actually do a ×3 modifier on it. And I can go in there and burn 42 energy right away. If I were to go, say, repeat battle, 679, I want to burn all that energy, and I were to come in and do this, whatever the case may be, if I level, 30 energy into that 600 energy, I didn't just beat the system. The level, the extra energy it tries to apply to your account when you level happens at the moment you level, not when you are finished your repeat battles. So it's important to note that. Just that's kind of a breakdown of just not screwing yourself over on the energy. But there's lots of places to get energy, right? Like your power-up guide, by doing a certain mission, you're going to be getting energy. So attempt equipment enhancement down here is going to get you 100. If you have the Knight's Pass, that's going to get you energy on all 3 tracks. You're going to get various amounts of energy when you do the Forbidden Dungeon. I think I've already done the levels that give it. But some of the earlier levels in the Forbidden Dungeon are actually going to... I can't even scroll up. Some of the levels in the Forbidden Dungeon are going to give you energy from them. Not on the repeat attacks, but on the first clears. So just make sure you're not kind of overstacking on your energy and screwing yourself over in that regard. Would be my primary advice, because that's how you level up your characters. But let's get into some of the fun stuff. So you're new to the game, right? You need to pull some characters. You want to have some fun, get some legendary characters, all that kind of stuff. But who should you pull? Because they have 2 rate-up summons right now. We have Guinevere and we have Merlin. There's 2 trains of thought, I think, for this one, guys. Merlin is the better standalone character than Gwen is, in my opinion. However, it's more than just that. Let me hide myself for a second, and we can go down to the rate info. So if you see the rate info, it's not just Gwen in this summoning pool. We also have Sigrun, Benevere, Gillian, and Aine. And these 3 guys, Benevere, Gillian, and Aine, they are phenomenal characters. Benevere is an amazing damage dealer. Gillian will transform your roster as a healer. And Aine is actually a stand-in for what Merlin does best. If I go over to Merlin's rate up info, and we'll see that Merlin's at the top. We have Lot. You'll know Lot from the story mode. Not the best character to play. He's just not that great in my opinion. Tristan, I got mixed feelings about Tristan because I have him like really well invested in, and he's doing phenomenal for me. But I hear he falls off. So I would not recommend going too hard into him. But he is a fantastic character, as we are going to get him for free for the early game. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Sigrun is actually really good. I like her. And then we have Clarison, who, like Tristan, I think falls off tremendously. So I do suggest people pull from the Guinevere tab. This is also helpful because they have an event running right now where using her will get you extra points. But I also think you have to use her on the final chapter of that event because she stops a certain interaction from happening. And she's amazing in the campaign. All right, besides it, let's just talk about rate up summons in general. There is a pity timer. If I go over to the Merlin one, you'll see I pulled nothing on the Merlin one. Once I pull 60 from this rate up summon, I am guaranteed a legendary character. But it's not the rate up summon. Just be very clear about that. Once you hit 0, you have a 50% chance of getting one of the legendary heroes in the banner that we just saw, or getting the rate up hero himself. If you could like game the system and just get Merlin, I think that's fantastic. He's usable on what I think is probably the most important boss. He puts a debuff that makes it so you're immune to dots, which is going to become very handy. So I do think he is amazing, but Ain will cover what he does. So yeah, you can see I've actually been pulling on her. We'll continue to pull on her. And when we do pull on these characters, guys, we only want to summon by 10. You never want to solo summon. Even now, I'm at 4. I'm 4 away from getting the pay time, right? I'll summon 10. I'm guaranteed to get it. It's going to kind of go over a little bit. The only time this would be different, I suppose, is if I don't plan on pulling any more for her. But she is the rate up summon for another 12 days, so I will probably keep pulling on this banner until it's done. Actually, I have no idea how it got this way. Oh, I know how it got this way. Because anytime you pull any legendary character from the banner, it resets the timer. Doesn't matter if I were to pull Gwen or pull one of these other 4 Yahoos in here, it's going to reset it. I say Yahoos, they're actually really good characters. The reason we only want to pull by 10 is because we get a rare hero guaranteed. The rare heroes in this game are really good, guys, especially if you're not going to be a spender in this game. The rare heroes can carry you all the way to the end game. They are that good. You just got to invest in the right ones for the proper bosses and gear them accordingly. But let's do a pull here so you can kind of see some of the telltale signs that you've gotten something good. I did use gems here. We'll talk about the value of that in a little bit. Here we go. Oh, we got a yellow. We didn't get a third pulse. I think we only got 1 yellow here. No, we did get 2 yellows. We did get 2 pulses. Ah, let's go. Let's freaking go. All right, so let's see what we're going to get. Okay. Nice. I like her. She's actually really good against a certain boss that I'll need to be working on soon. So that does excite me. Let's see who the next one is.
The seeds of distrust have blossomed.
This, honestly, guys, this would be the ideal character for a new player to pull. Gillian is an amazing, amazing healer and puts to shame all the rare healers. So 2 amazing pulls for me. And honestly, these 2 rare characters, we'll talk about them as well. Great characters. They're going to be involved in our like characters to prioritize early on. So that's kind of the rate up system in a nutshell, guys. So we pulled some characters. Let's talk about who to prioritize in the early game. I'm going to go free to play in this sense, okay? Kay is going to be a character that they're just going to drop in your lap. She's an amazing character. She has multiple hits on her opening relic, which is the Storm Relic. This is going to be very useful against the first boss you're allowed to tackle, Penvite, or the Boar. I'm going to call it the Boar boss because I'm going to butcher the name. The Boar boss, and we need to hit that character multiple times to break a barrier, and that boss is going to help us in what I think is the most important progression path. So definitely invest in Kay once you get her unlocked. The next character to invest heavily in is going to be Anguish. Anguish also hits multiple times, but he has another effect, this chill effect. So this is a dot, damage over time. Now these 2 characters are amazing because they're pretty easy to upgrade through the Chivalry system. So let's head over to that Chivalry system. This Chivalry system is what you can utilize when you pull additional copies of somebody. You saw how I just pulled a copy of him. He's already fully maxed out, right? Once we hit certain levels of the Chivalry system, they become just so much better. So like when Anguish hits Chivalry 8, he gets to put an additional bleed on the target, which is another dot. And this is highly impactful on, again, the most important boss in the game. Yeah. So this is very, very important, okay? The benefit of Anguish, you don't actually need to pull Anguish. You're going to get him for free just from logging in on, I believe it is day 13. Yeah, day 13. Right here, they just drop him in your lap for free if you haven't already pulled him by then. So he's an amazing character. So that's 2. The next character, so the reason I want to talk about the rare characters first is because they're easy to upgrade chivalry-wise, right? The next character is going to be Morgan. Morgan is a legendary character you're going to get for free just by kind of playing through the campaign and following what it tells you to do. It's part of like the pre-register celebration. She is an amazing character. She has turn meter rewind. I believe she's got defense down, recovery disruption that's going to be very useful on the bear boss, which we're going to be having to face to increase our weapon level. We'll have videos on all that. So she is an amazing character that they just drop in your lap. Now the 4th pick is kind of the tough one, right? So you saw how I pulled Jillian here. An amazing character. Really happy I pulled her. Happy to upgrade her. She's also really good on the bear boss, or on the tiger boss rather, for turn meter rewind. So really like this character, but if you're not so lucky, all these other rare healers are very good, which you want to look out for the most. So like Isolode, a AoE heal. So we got heal all allies for 3.8% and max HP plus 39. So that's one character, right? But there's other options as well. So there is ISO here. I believe Sarah is another character that does AoE heals on her special and ultimate. She sure is. There's even more options. I believe this is a healer as well. She will independent chance to heal each ally, 40% chance to remove a debuff. So we have another healer here. Reducing attack gauge. That's kind of cool too. So we really kind of want to lead the healers. Healers in this game will make the journey through the story mode so much easier for you. And to make it even more potent, the value that these healers have, you're going to want to craft a certain set for them, and that is going to be your Vigor set. So once you unlock equipment and you unlock these various sets, the Vigor set is the #1 set for healers. I guarantee it. All right? Recharges 1 Vigor at the start of each turn. What does this mean? When a character takes a turn, they naturally generate a Vigor. This will generate an additional Vigor. So when a support character gets their turn, if they have the set on, they will always be able to use their A2 ability. So I showed Isolde there. I showed Sarah there. Both of those characters have AoE heals. They will heal every single turn, and they're not going to sap too much energy away from the rest, or too much vigor, I guess, away from the rest of your characters that they won't be able to get the job done. So that would be 4 characters. However, I do want to shout out Tristan, because a lot of people hate on Tristan. I've really valued him. I've gotten so much work out of this guy because he does a truckload of damage, and he's got a slow and attack speed decrease on his A1 and his A3. And it says he only hits 3 times here. He hits so many times. So many times on the barrier boss that we're about to go jump into right now. The reason I say wanted to bring that up is because those are the 2 bosses I think are the most important. Is going to be the boar boss, the barrier boss, and Gorgas, the experience boss. This is the progression path that is going to give you the most bang for your buck. You're going to have to use the least amount of energy to increase it the most, and it'll make your characters kind of pop off to start. So let's start. Let's just start with the Gorgas boss here. The Gorgas boss is going to be giving us the experience potions we need to put levels on our characters. And the boar boss, Penvite, is going to be giving us the awakening materials we need to awaken them. Let's go kind of explore what that means real quick. I'm sure if you've been playing the game, you kind of already know where I'm going with this. So let me just grab any character. Sure, we'll grab it, Baborn. And let's throw some levels on him. So let's take a quick look at his attack, defense, and HP. He's got nothing else, no equipment, no nothing like that, right? So let's go ahead and bring him up to level 20. And just look at the stat gains. Nearly double the attack, nearly double the defense, nearly double the HP. Like, this is the kind of jumps that are really impactful. Leveling your characters to level 60 is huge. And you really should be focused firing your characters. So when I say that, like, I just kind of talked about 4 characters I would invest in, 5 if you include Tristan. And I do think you should get them to level 60 as quickly as possible. Get as many other progression paths worked into them as you can. Because just by virtue of having these characters big, you can push a lot of these bosses. Let's do a quick example. So if I go into Burning Land 8, this is a horrible team for this, right? So I'm going to go in here. Hopefully I'll survive long enough to show you the actual boss mechanic that hits in at a certain difficulty. So right away you can see I'm just not really doing any damage to him, right? Like, Anguish is going to do some damage because Anguish is actually built for this boss. But you see, he just put a fire debuff on me, okay? And then hopefully his next turn he's going to do the instant kill attack that is associated with that fire debuff. Hopefully. Hopefully we die right away. Not quite yet. You can see the fire debuff. It is absolutely wrecking my characters anyway, though. The next attack, he's going to do it. And just watch the amount of damage it's going to do on the next attack. There it is, right there. You see, it just hit for like 20,000 all those characters. They just instantly died, right? But that's because this is what, difficulty 9 or 8 I was just on. This team would probably work over on difficulty 6. And this is going to be true for a lot of these bosses. You can throw in just 4 well-developed characters all the way up to, like, whether it be difficulty 6 or difficulty 4 on some of the later, harder bosses. Just a group of 4 characters that are really built up will be able to beat that boss. And in doing so, you'll be able to start exploring the various progression paths. So I really, really suggest you focus build 4 characters, whether it be the 4 characters I just recommended, or if you got a cool legendary you want to build into, really focus fire. Don't spread your resources out too much. This will help you crush the campaign, crush the early level of bosses, open up the various progression paths, and then you can start sprinkling it in kind of wherever you want. And we'll have like more detailed examples of what I would do with that in other videos. All right, so that's done. We talked about stamina cap, we talked about rate up pull-ups, we talked about early priority characters, and what to focus. Strongly recommend focusing the Boar boss and the Gorgas boss to get your characters all the way up to level 60 as soon as you can. Let's talk gems. Gems is your premium currency, right? Like you saw me not too long ago use them to kind of top up my summon, so I was able to summon my 10. I do think that in the very early stages of the game, if you're getting a lot of these gems, like say you bought some of the offers that we'll go over, that it is advisable to use them on some of these rate pull-ups, okay? Get yourself some legendary characters, get yourself a whack load of rare characters and build into that. I wouldn't do like 20,000 worth of gem rate up pull-ups though. I just wouldn't. Instead, we talked about stamina earlier, and I think that is the primary place where I would be spending my gems. Where I do spend my gems now is on these daily stamina charges. You see, right now I'm on charge number 6. So what I do daily is the first 2 charges only cost 50 gems, not 150. The next 3 cost 100 gems, not 150. So I'm spending all my gems on that energy. That's why I have this 679 right now. And in doing so, I'm able to really farm the necessary material to I can build up a lot of characters. And that's where I would use my gems, in my opinion. I would use them for the rate up summons a little bit till you have a nice little roster you're ready to work on. You have the characters needed for certain bosses, and then hard swap to just doing your daily stamina charges. The chivalry system, the whale system we talked about, that is highly impactful. I personally am just going to let that happen over time. If I ever do have a giant surplus of gems, maybe I'll revisit that. But otherwise, I'm going to focus on the stamina. Even the gold, 1,000 gems for 1.5 million gold, that doesn't really carry the same amount of weight because I can just go hit the Gorgas boss I just showed you. I get 200,000 for every 3 kills. I would definitely get more gold than I would spend gems on energy if I just went and hit that boss at the higher difficulties. All right, let's have the uncomfortable conversation about real life money now. So we talked about the premium resource. Let's talk about real life money. Where is it best spent? 100% it is best spent on the Knight's Pass. The Knight's Pass gives you about 3 times the amount of value you'll find in any other offer. The reason being, of course, is that it is a overtime thing, right? So you're not really going to get to this level 30 until later on this month. And that does suck, but it still gives you the most value, I would say. After that, I really like these daily perks. The daily adventure and the daily premium, this is where I'm getting so many gems playing around with. The game does give you a lot of gems, don't get me wrong. Whether it be from achievements or from various other sources, right? The game gives you a lot of gems, but this is a huge burst, and I believe this is 13 bucks for the 2 weeks. It's something that I'm probably going to be doing. The premium daily stamina, I also really like this because this does eventually outvalue the 150 gem cost. So I do like that. This is probably like dolphin territory, though, keeping up with that. The Knight's Pass would be like the guppy territory. If you don't know mobile language, that means like light spender, mid spender, big spender. Besides that, these one-time offers to like clear the main story, I believe this was 30 Canadian dollars. This is how I was able to do so many rate-ups. This is why I have so many legendary characters. Because I did do so many of the rate-up summon pulls until I had like such an amazing roster of available characters, I can now start just actually investing in them. So you do get just a tremendous amount of gems, a lot of energy along the way. You do get a legendary hero summon ticket at the end, and this is true for a lot of them. You see these rate-up summon tickets. This is going to be a legendary relic I'll get eventually. The estate one is the same sort of thing, but this one takes a little bit longer. The combat power one, like I will be doing this one, and I'll do this one. I enjoy the game enough that these one-time purchases, they give you such a gigantic boost to your account that if you're going to spend on the game, I would probably start here. And then if you're going to spend regularly on the game, Knight's Pass into daily perks. Besides that, the regular offers, they're okay. They're like you would find in any mobile game, like 10 rate-up tickets for 10 American dollars. It's okay, I guess. Like it's nothing special. When you beat certain boss levels, certain floors in the dungeon, you'll get pop-up offers like this, where there is a cheaper one as well. If you are, you're a big spender or like a medium to big spender, things like this could become in your value range. I would say if I'm getting 10 rate up pull-ups, not the summon, but the rate up, you know, 400 to 800 gems. And here, if it was 500 to 1000 energy, which this is 500 energy, right? So it's 50 stamina, 10 charges of it. If this was $10, then this would be my wheelhouse. I don't like the 600,000 gold is nice, but I could farm that. The hound, the blue materials here, that's nice too, but I could farm that as well. So that's kind of where I go, like the pop-up offers for certain floors. Some of it's worth it, but I really only value when it has gems, rate pull-ups, and stamina. I don't value it when it, say, has like this kind of stuff. Like this is cool. This is actually 1000 energy, lots of gems. This resource you could farm in the Forbidden Dungeon, or the whatever that dungeon's called. But you need this other resource to go along with it. So it ends up being like, you're just kind of moving your bottlenecks around when you start buying some of these offers. And like, look at the price tag on this. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not as exciting as pulling characters either, or having the stamina to actually upgrade your characters with the various progression paths. It takes kind of the control away from you. I don't really like them that much. Anyway, this video was way too long for a beginner video. Hope it helps you. So guys, manage your stamina properly. Pull that Guinevere tag. Hopefully get yourself a good healer like you saw I pulled here today. Focus on those characters we talked about. Focus on getting their levels increased and their star level increased. Use your gems on energy and rate up summons for the first little bit, and then just swap to straight energy. And if you are going to spend money, those one-time buys and the Knights Pass, that's where the value is. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, share with friends, and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, I'll see you later in the next video. Bye-bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.